Hello family, super excited to have you here. So today I'm going to be doing a video about how to apply for a UK study visa all by yourself, all of the process. So because this video is long, I'm going to break it into two. So what you're going to be watching now is going to be the part one of that video. And if this seems like something you would like, please stay tuned and watch. And when you watch and you feel like you've learned anything from this video, kindly give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share with other people you feel might need the knowledge. That will be all from me. Take care and have a good day. Bye bye. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be back here today because today I'm going to be doing a video that has been requested for so much. I've had a lot of people come to my DM, send me emails, WhatsApp messages saying, can you do this video? So yes, today I'm going to be doing that video. And it's a video about how you can apply for a UK student visa all by yourself. So the general overview is that anyone above the age of 16 can apply to study in the United Kingdom. My name is Fumilayo Fatubero, and this video is going to be about study visa or how you can get your study visa to the UK. So if this is something that you would like, that you've been looking for, please stay tuned and watch this video to the end. So to start with, I will start with the process. And what's the process? The school choices. So I'm not going to dive into that because I'm not going to help you select the school that you're going to be looking to do. So what I'm assuming is that anybody that is watching this video already has an admission from a school and you're just looking about going the process. I'm not going to show you how you are going to apply to schools or write your personal statement. I only do things that pertain to visas. I'm sure you already have a school of your choice that has offered you an admission. So for your tuition, are you going to be getting a scholarship? Is it a full scholarship or part scholarship? Your accommodation when you get to the United Kingdom, and of course the visa application process, which is where I come in. And the first that I will talk about is, of course, apart from your documents, which you already have your admission and all, it's funds. Hey guys, funds is very important. It's very essential. You need your funds. You would need time. So I will start with the list of documents you're going to be needing. And like I always say when I talk about travel, the first thing you always need is your passport. And I've said this before in multiple videos, make sure that your passport has at least two consecutive blank pages, and then it's valid for a minimum of 6 months from the date that you're looking to enter into that country. Please guys, don't mix it up. Don't get caught when you've put all the process in place and then it's time to apply and then you get turned back, or maybe you've even been issued the visa, then it's time to buy your tickets and go, and they're saying, oh, you can't fly, this can happen. So yeah, you need to look at all of these things, which is why I'm doing this video, to put you through all of the process. So yes, you already have your passport sorted. That is your travel document. The next thing you're going to need is your CAS. That is CAS. I'm sure you've heard CAS here, CAS there, CAS here, CAS there. When you hear people talk about student visa, so what is a CAS? It's a confirmation of acceptance of studies, which simply means that you have confirmed that you have accepted that offer that you have been given, that admission offer. And the only way you can get this CAS or make this confirmation is when you make a deposit. So let's say, for instance, you're looking to go to a school and your tuition is £14,000. The school might advise you to make a deposit of maybe £3,000 or £4,000 or even £5,000. Now, it is when you make this deposit and then the school receives it, then you get your CAS. It doesn't end there. Some schools expect you to upload your proof of finance or proof of funds, as some people call it, when you're applying for this CAS. Now, this proof of funds or proof of finance is just simply means that you need to show that you can actually afford this tuition and you have the money sitting in the bank account. Now, I said some schools, it depends on the course you're going for. So if you're going for your master's in the UK, what you pay varies from school to school, from course to course. So Because you and I are going to the same school doesn't mean we'll pay the same amount. And then because we are studying the same course or different schools, doesn't mean we'll pay the same amount. And then the city that we go to in the United Kingdom also varies. London is always relatively more expensive than outside London. So yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But from here, I was talking about the proof of finance so that you can get your CAS. They expect you to have your tuition. So your fees is going to be like a £14,000, and they've asked you to make a deposit of £4,000, meaning you need £10,000 to balance for your tuition. Now, when you're going to prove your funds, they don't expect you to have the all of the 14,000. It's just the balance of the 10,000 because you've already paid 4,000 anyway. So it's out of it. They would have subtracted it from it. So all you need to do is you must have had a minimum of £10,000 sitting in your bank account for a minimum of 28 days. So I always tell people, yes, they say 28 days, 28 consecutive days, don't get that wrong. So they say 28 days, but I always say you can print your bank statement from day 31. So it's been in your account for a consecutive of 31 days. What you need now to do is to upload this proof of funds and pay for your deposit, which the school has asked you to pay for. And then the school issues you what is called a CAS. Now, the time that the CAS gets issued varies as well from school to school. Some as fast as 6 days, some takes 3 weeks, some takes even over a month. So it all depends on the school you're going to, what time of the year you are applying, if there's a rush. Then you would need to prove your ability to understand your English language. So you must be able to prove that you can read, write, and understand English. It depends on the school you're applying at. Some school would say that it's not necessary. You don't have to prove it so long as you have maybe a credit or a distinction in English in your WAEC. But some schools will still want you to write the IELTS exam. So it all depends on the school you're going to. So all of this, I'm sure you would have come across it in your application process when you're trying to apply to the school. The next thing you need to get ready is your tuberculosis certificate. So you need to go for a tuberculosis test. I'll dwell more into that when I get into the main video. Then, of course, your healthcare surcharge. The first thing you need to do after you must have gotten a conditional offer from school is to pay and apply for your CAS. So I already mentioned that. I said you would need to upload your proof of funds, meaning that you have your tuition for the first year of your course sitting in your bank account. So it's just to show that you can afford it. So next, let's believe that your school has issued you your CAS. Yay! The next thing is to check the information you have on your CAS to make sure everything is correct. I always double check. I'm a doubting Thomas, so I always double check. So you check the information, you check your name, you do a spell check, you check the passport number, course of study, everything, the tuition fee, everything on that your CAS document, because your CAS is going to be like the backbone of your application. You're going to need it to complete all of your visa application forms. So yes, you need to double check, and then you're going to submit it as well. So you need to double check and make sure that everything is on point. So how do you get your CAS? After you must have gotten an offer from school, then the next thing to do is apply for your CAS. You do this by proving that you can afford the rest of your tuition. So your tuition is 14,000, and then your school has asked you to make a deposit of £4,000, meaning you have £10,000 to go. To apply for your CAS, you need to prove that you have enough funds that has been sitting in your bank account for at least 28 consecutive days to that day that you're applying. Now, the time you can apply for your CAS varies too. You cannot apply for your CAS before 3 months before the start of your course. I don't know if I made sense with that. So let's say your course is looking to start in September. You can only begin to apply for your CAS from June. Even if you have had an admission since February, March, whenever, you cannot start the CAS process or start to apply before June. So it's typically 3 months before the start date of your course. That makes sense. And then, before I forget, your CAS is only valid for 6 months, meaning that if you've applied for your CAS and maybe you, for some reason, you couldn't put all your documents together and apply for the visa, and then it's 6 months down the line, you cannot use the same CAS number. It won't work. What you need to do is go back to school, but this time you wouldn't need to prove anything because you already proved that when you got your CAS number in the first place. So you won't need to prove anything. You just have to reapply, and then they'll issue you a new CAS. And if it's the case of a visa refusal, you will need to use another CAS before you reapply again. The same CAS that you've used for the refusal you got cannot be reused for a new application. I hope I made sense with that. So whatever it is that you're doing, either you've had your CAS for like 6 months, or you had a visa refusal initially and you're looking to reapply, make sure you get a new CAS so that you don't waste your time using the old one, applying and then getting all of that. So yeah, make sure you get a new CAS before you dive into the new application. The next stage is is what people see as the order to cross when it comes to applying for your student visa, and is your proof of finance, which some people call proof of funds. And this is basically your bank statement. Your proof of funds is the core, guys, is the core of your application. Once you can get your proof of funds right, the rest is very easy. Like, it's like the major thing, Seth. So if you can get this proof of funds right, then it's all easy. So what this proof of funds is all about is for you to be able to show or demonstrate that you can afford the rest of your tuition. So it's usually like, for the proof of funds, you need like a year. So it's to show that for the rest of your tuition for the year or for that course, and if your course is more than a year, and then for your cost of living, which is your living expenses, your everyday feeding, your accommodation, maybe travel or transport allowance, you need to be able to prove that you can afford it. So because yes, you're going to get 20 hours to be able to work, but they don't expect you to rely on that solely. You must have money stored away in case you don't get a job, in case you need to put extra hours for your studies, and then you're not stuck that you can't pay rent, you can't even travel to school, or you can't feed. Nobody wants that. So they want you to be able to prove that you can afford that, which is why the proof of funds is really important. You can prove your funds by having money sitting in your bank account for a minimum of 28 consecutive days. Now, not just any money, the balance of your tuition. Remember, before you applied for your CAS, you already paid a 4,000 deposit. So, meaning the balance of your tuition is £10,000. So, £10,000 or its equivalent must have been sitting in your bank account, and then the cost of living for 9 months. Now, the reason why they say 9 months is because if your course is for a year, typically the length of that course is 9 months. So what they just need for you to prove is 9 months. What I'm going to spend is going to be different from what you are going to be spending, or the next person is going to be spending. It all depends on where you're going. And luckily for us, the UK government has advised on how much you should have for cost of living monthly. So I'm looking to go to London, and I have my £10,000 school fees balance to pay up, and then I need to prove my living expense or cost of living, the funds for it, for 9 months. So I have 1,334 times 9 months. That is £12,006. I'm going to add that to the £10,000 I have as my balance. And once I do that, it means I need to have £22,000 sitting in my bank account. Now, the exchange rate as of today is 2,250. If I have 2,250 in my bank account, so that means I'm expected to have 49,513,500 naira sitting in my bank account. But then I always advise, don't use that, because the exchange rate is fluctuating right now. You really don't want to leave monies there for 28 days. And then by the time is that 28 days, maybe you put the money in, and then by day 5, money changes to 2.4, and then by day 10, it changes to 2.5, and then you're worried. So what I usually or typically advise is, I'm looking to do £22,000. With this, the exchange rate right now is 2,250. I know it can be so bad. So let me say I'm going to be using a 2,500 as the exchange rate. So I'm going to be using 2,500. So that means instead of the 49,500,000 and something I'm supposed to have sitting in my account, I've budgeted for more. So now I will have 55 million sitting in my account. So that gives room for money going up and down, the fluctuation, so you're not worried. Then you can now print out your statement after 28 consecutive days. Now, I always tell people, so when they say 28 days, it doesn't mean that you don't get to run the account or you leave money, you just leave it there and the account just goes like that. No, you can actually run that account and do other transactions on the account. So long as what you have as closing balance at every point in time is not lower than this 55 million. So let's say I get another inflow of 20 million, so I have a 75 million, so I can do 100 transactions in that account within that 28 days. I can do a 5 million here, a 10 million here, so long as it doesn't go below this 55 million, then you're good to go. So for this proof of funds, you can use your account or your parent's account. That's the only account you can use. Your account, your parent's account, or maybe your legal guardian. You can use no uncles, no aunties. It doesn't work for this one. So if you want to use your parent account, I always just advise people that just attach your birth certificate to that account so that you can prove that these people are indeed your parents. And if you're using a legal guardian, have the legal document tying you to that person as your legal guardian, have it to accompany your proof of funds as well. Now, you can use any kind of bank account so long as it's not a corporate one. It comes in your parent's name or maybe your name or your legal guardian's name. Is not just maybe a company's account or a business account. That will work. A personal account is what they're looking to do. And you don't necessarily have to use only one account. You can use multiple accounts and you can use any currency. It doesn't have to be Naira only, because I'm speaking from Nigeria here, so I'm using Naira. So I said the money must have been sitting in your account for a minimum of 28 days before you print out your bank statement. So give it to you like day 31 and print out the bank statement. Then if you are one that you're using multiple bank statements, make sure you print the bank statement on the same day. So it doesn't look like you pulled out funds from one to fund the other and then print out after that. It doesn't make you look dodgy or it looks tacky. Just print it out on the same day. You're using 2 different bank accounts, you're using 3, it doesn't matter. As long as the funds all add up and it has been sitting there for 28 consecutive days, then it's fine. So if you're using multiple accounts, like I said, make sure you do the printout on the same day. And let's not forget, the bank statement that you print out can only be used within the space of 31 days after you print it out. So you need to target all of this when you're doing your visa application. So your CAS is out, you want to apply and you print your bank statement. Don't say, oh, maybe my tuberculosis test result is delaying me, or this or something else is delaying me. Make sure you have everything. You set the ball rolling, have everything in place so that the bank statement you print now, you can actually use it within 31 days. And I always tell people that it's even nicer, because I've helped a lot of people do that. The bank statement you print as your proof of funds to get your CAS is still the bank statement they end up using for the proof of funds at the embassy, because it's still within the space of the same 31 days.